This was the time when I had recently stopped homeopathic practice and started helping people get in touch with themselves and get in touch with the power of their own mind to heal themselves. So instead of dispensing medicines, I chose to help them know the power of their subconscious mind. And I started taking sessions to just educate them and assist them in their journey inwards. An old patient of mine contacted and requested to help her brother who was visiting India, a young man who was suffering from aches and pains. The diagnosis was not so clear at that time. However, I agreed to meet him and convinced him that you have the power to heal yourself and overcome your personal aches and pains and other problems. He agreed to take sessions instead of medications. I started working with him, and a lot of pains eased out. He started sleeping better and he started feeling better. However, I convinced him for a regression work to complete his total therapeutic work. I guided him through the regression. Since he was coming from a culture which is non believer in past life, he had his own hesitation, and yet, having a lot of faith in me, he finally said yes and complied. He was also not so familiar with Indian setup and Indian culture because he was practically brought up abroad and he was working there. As he slowly regressed, he started seeing visions of some ancient kind of village, and he saw a boy there, which he thought it was him. The boy was wearing orange loin cloth, practically bald, but a few strands of hair hanging from his scalp, braided well. He was also wearing a white string of tiny thread on his neck. Further, he saw some senior teacher figure, and they were alone in a tiny hut. He choked with emotions, felt uneasy, and slowly described that I'm being molested by the person I trusted. He saw himself feeling ashamed, embarrassed, horribly guilty, and dirty. He stopped mingling with people. He isolated himself, lived alone in that tiny hut. After a while, he saw himself walking towards the mountains, and later he saw himself sitting on the snow clad mountains and just chanting few words and repeating again and again. And as we moved forward in time, the client described that now I can see a light in the forehead. I seem to be knowing everything but something. Familiar with Indian culture, I knew that he was talking about a Brahmin boy who was molested by a teacher who felt ashamed, guilty, and dirty about himself, turned within, isolated himself, and finally went to Himalayas for meditation and got enlightened. Since my client was not familiar with Indian culture, he described the same scenario in his own way. I helped him connect with his higher consciousness to get the message and to understand why he saw this particular scenario. The scenario could have been a real past life of someone, or it could be the figment of his imagination. It did not matter. The moment person starts imagining, they enter the subconscious space, and through the subconscious space, they connect to the higher consciousness. That's the eventual or ultimate objective of the regression work. So, the message the higher consciousness gave him was interesting. He was explained in deep trance that certain shameful events are designed to help you turn within and rediscover yourself, to help you grow your awareness and consciousness. The whole session left a very deep impact on me. I could look back at my personal life and I knew that a lot of setbacks I have got were designed to uplift me. Unfortunately, when people go through suffering, they have so many emotions clouding their mind that they can hardly connect to themselves and understand the divine brilliance behind every situation which are carefully designed for them. Only if they could learn the art of remaining calm and reconnecting with themselves to know what's going on from the higher consciousness point of view. The guidance I would love to give you is when you're disturbed, when situations are adverse, calm down and try and figure out how you could make the best out of the situation and also know the brilliance embedded in a given situation. In my upcoming episodes, I'm going to describe many such cases and my learning through my regression work and mind management work. Stay tuned and keep listening. This is Aatmn Parmar, founder of Redikall.